Creating impactful and lasting change is a mission, a vision, and a movement. Welcome to Nonprofit Voices of Impact, the show that will delve into the heart of the nonprofit world, showcasing the leaders and change makers who are driving meaningful transformation in our community. Through engaging interviews, real-life success stories, and valuable insights, this podcast highlights the passion, innovation, and dedication that fuels nonprofits across Westchester County. Whether you're a nonprofit leader or advocate, Nonprofit Voices of Impact empowers you with the knowledge and inspiration to make a powerful difference. I'm your host, Dr. Marsha Gordon, President and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester, and I'm joined by my co-host, Linda Tyler, Vice President of Membership and Programs, Business Council of Westchester.
The BCW nonprofit Voices of Impact is proudly sponsored by New York Presbyterian and Beacon Bank, formerly PCSB Bank. Thank you for your support. Take your organization far with the power of local banking. Beacon Bank, formerly known as PCSB Bank, has an array of services, customized solutions, and local financing decisions that mean you have a powerful commercial bank nearby when you need them. Voted Best in Business Banking for 2 years in a row by 914 Inc., Beacon Bank's commitment to serving customers, consumers, businesses, and nonprofits in the community is unparalleled. Stop by one of their 14 branches located throughout Westchester, Putnam, Dutchess, and Rockland counties, or call 888-808-4700 to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
New York Presbyterian has 3 campus locations in Westchester: New York Presbyterian Westchester in Bronxville, New York Presbyterian Hudson Valley Hospital in Cortlandt Manor, and New York Presbyterian Westchester Behavioral Health in White Plains, and a new state-of-the-art facility opening in 2025 at 1111 Westchester Avenue in White Plains. Known as New York Presbyterian The One, this center of excellence will improve access to medical care by offering a wide range of adult and pediatric specialty care, all under one roof, delivered by exceptional teams led by trusted Columbia doctors. NYP The One will include centers of excellence in cardiovascular and neurosensory treatment, men's health, women's health, pediatric health, and a cancer center satellite.
On today's episode, we're highlighting 2 organizations that are making a powerful difference in the lives of individuals and communities across our region: Furniture Share House and Choice of New York. Welcome to you both.
Thank you very much.
We're joined by 2 inspiring leaders, Kate Bialo, Executive Director of Furniture Share House, and Bob Marone, Director of Public Relations and Board Advisor at Choice of New York. Through essential furnishings, supportive services, mental health advocacy, and community partnerships, both organizations are helping people overcome challenges, build stability, and create pathways to opportunity throughout Westchester and beyond. Kate and Bob, thank you both for joining us today. And to start, can you each tell our listeners a little bit about yourselves and the mission of your organizations? Kate, let's start with you.
Okay. Well, I'm an attorney by training, but I stopped working when my first child was born. But I was very involved with the Junior League of Westchester on the Sound, and they have a thrift shop, and people would occasionally offer furniture to donate furniture to the thrift shop, but we didn't have room for it. And so I tried to match up furniture through agencies, and it never worked, because by the time an agency came back and said, yes, we found somebody who could use that dresser, it was long gone. So I kept thinking, well, wouldn't it be great if we could just have a space and just put furniture in there when people have it to donate, and then when people need it, we can get it right back out again. So that was sort of the genesis of the idea for Furniture Share House. And it turned out that it wasn't my idea, that in fact there was a furniture bank, a National Furniture Bank Association, and furniture banks all around the country, but not one in our area. So I founded Furniture Share House in 2007. So we are in our 19th year of providing free essential furniture to people in Westchester County.
And your mission, we'll talk a little bit more about it. You're helping about 400 families a year. That's
Correct.
Incredible growth. And you're really taking a house and making it a home.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk a little bit more. I love this. Bob, let's talk about Choice of New York.
Okay. For me, I found Choice I should say they found me. As you know, I was a longtime morning talk radio host, and I read a story in the newspaper about a man that jogged from Atlanta, Georgia to California in a series of marathons to bring attention to mental illness because his daughter had intractable schizophrenia. And I said, I got to get this guy on the air. Anybody would. So I get him in to WVOX at the time. And he tells his story about his daughter and that he'd just taken over this flailing, he would say, nonprofit, Choice of New Rochelle. Had like 10 people maybe, 5 people, 20 clients, small budget. And he built it along with a lot of other dedicated people to what it is today. Anyway, because of my own issues with depression many years ago, I said, this is something that I really care about. So I started giving him regular hits, we call it, and then we got him a show once a week. And we really hit it off, not just interpersonally, but about the topic. So I was invited on their board about 10 years ago. And about 3 years ago, I'm mumbling at a board meeting, we're the fastest growing nonprofit that nobody knows. Because we went from, well, I'll just bring you today and then we can move on. I don't want to make this about me. We grew from this little organization to now we care for 4,000 clients, we call them, a month, an $11 million budget. We're in every city, courthouse, and prison in Westchester County. And what we do, and this is my elevator speech, if you're homeless, mentally ill, physically disabled, out on your luck, you've got nothing, you're just coming out of jail, you can't get straight, you may be mentally ill, physically disabled, house poor, have no place to live, no job, we will put a case manager with you and you will get personal care. You have to quit us, we don't quit you. And we act as a warehouse. I shouldn't say warehouse. I'm so spoiled by what Kate does. And
we're the ones with the warehouse.
Yeah. We are a conduit so that if you need a psychiatrist, we get you a psychiatrist. You need a medical doctor, we get you a medical doctor. Mostly it's homelessness, of course.
If you need furniture.
Right. And if you need furniture, and that's where she comes in, the typical homeless person doesn't have any place to live, obviously. So after we do the intake, and then the typical case where it would involve Kate, it might be homeless, mentally ill, all of the different things, drug addicted, getting out of jail, whatever. We initially put them in a shelter. And they come out of the shelter, and finally we get them Section 8 or some other place to live, but they've got no furniture.
And I love, we're going to jump in over here. I love what you said. We don't quit you.
No, we don't.
You may quit us, but we won't quit you, that commitment.
We're in a business, and Kate can relate to this. There's a fair amount of falling down again. The whole process means you got to get back up and get on the horse. We're going to stay with you.
That's powerful.
We're going to stay with you.
Game
You've
changer.
got to quit us. And the thing that we've got more involved with, and I really don't want to take up any more time. I want to go back to Kate here about what we do together. In our criminal justice system, we have found that the number of people coming out of jail who have no place to go, all they get is a bus pass and their prescriptions.
And they need support as they're leaving. And we're going to go back to that in a moment.
So, anyway.
Kate, let's talk about Furniture Share House and the problem that you set out to solve. Most people understand food insecurity, but furniture poverty is less visible.
Yep.
What does that look like in Westchester, and what inspired you to do this work?
Well, like I said, I would see furniture left at the curb. I would have people frustrated because they had furniture to give away. And, because of our work with agencies in the Sound Shore area, I knew that there were plenty of people out there that could use that beautiful dresser that was just put to the curb. So that was my inspiration. And the typical furniture bank model is the one that we have, which is that we get our clients through agencies. We have a list of 45 member agencies, the DSS, Department of Social Services, Choice of New York, and all of the agencies that deal with domestic violence or homelessness and that sort of thing. So 45 agencies, and the clients come to us through the agencies. We don't just take somebody off the street who says, hey, I'm poor, I need free furniture. They have to come to us through one of their agencies because the agencies are the ones who can vet their need and so forth. They come to us by appointment. We are open 2 mornings a week for 2 hours, and in those 4 hours a week, we serve 8 to 10 families. So as Bob points out, a lot of our clients, probably the majority of our clients, are those who are coming out of homeless shelters. And of course, you come out of a shelter and you've got nothing. Your clothes are in plastic bags and bins, and you're sleeping on an air mattress on the floor if you're lucky. And you have no money for furniture. You finally got the apartment. Your dream has come true, but guess what? It's empty and you're sleeping on the floor. So that's where we come in. And we provide every household that comes to us with a couple of beds. We try to give beds to everybody if we have them. They get a kitchen table and chairs. I know in one of your previous podcasts, the mayor of New Rochelle talked about a kitchen table moment. She referred to getting the apartment as like the kitchen table moment. But guess what? You can't have a kitchen table moment if you don't have a kitchen table.
Right.
So that's what we provide. And we provide living room furniture, we provide dressers, nightstands, mirror, we provide artwork, we have a little art department, lamps, we have a great lamp department. And then we have a bonus area with household items and things. And so a family that comes to us will go in the space of 24 hours from living in an empty apartment to living in a fully furnished home that is comfortable and dignified, and they can now invite their friends over and invite family over and feel proud and just start to get on with it.
And a good point too, what's so important, part of creating, I think, a home is choice. So people make an appointment and they get to choose their furniture. They get to really curate or customize something that they love.
Yep.
And then that piece of feeling proud to have family and friends over, because the social connection is what keeps us all humming and moving and happy in life.
Yeah.
So it's a really great, beautiful, positive experience.
So the shopper experience is very important to us. We are virtually 100% volunteer. I've been a volunteer since day one, and all of the folks who work in the warehouse are volunteers. And we have our personal shoppers, we call them. And so every client is assigned a personal shopper who calls them the night before and talks about the things that are on the list. And then that way, when the client comes in the morning, the client's already spoken to the shopper and they already kind of have a relationship that they've started. And then they walk around. Every client gets a different color masking tape. And when the client picks a piece that he or she likes, we'll put that color masking tape on and write their name, and then it gets batched and gets delivered out within 2 days or so.
And there's a sense of pride there.
And there's always hugs and tears and smiles after every session. The clients are overwhelmed. They can't believe that they're getting all of this for free, and that they're now going to have a home instead of an empty apartment. So there's a lot of emotion involved.
This is a good opportunity for me to thank her. And we've been partners with her since 2009. And she's working with 3 people at this very day.
Yes, we have 3
they're closing in on
today.
1,000. They're closing in on 1,000.
Yes.
The last official number we had was 965,
Yep.
but it's more than that now. I couldn't get the rest of the data.
Yeah. For this week.
And at the BCW, we're big believers in collaboration and partnership. For-profits, non-for-profits, that's where you can just see some incredible, effective work get done. Bob, let's talk about what distinguishes your organization, Choice of New York, in terms of process, and how does your approach support the individuals you serve? And you talked a little bit about people have different needs and different issues that they've got to address.
One of the key features of Choice is in the name, because people say choice. When I'm out on the rubber chicken circuit, people think maybe we're involved with abortion or whatever, but it means consumers helping others in a caring environment. We have a standard rule that no one is to be treated with condescension. We don't arrive like the doctor in the white coat. We're here to help you. We're here to help you, but we're a peer organization. That's number one. And the thing that distinguishes us is what I mentioned before. There are a lot of gray areas, and we'll address them. We are committed to the client. For example, now you give us furniture, Kate. Sometimes a person will walk in and say, my kid's got nowhere to sleep. And we'll just go buy him a mattress or something, or a cheap bed if we can't get to Kate right away. Or someone will come in and need clothes, etc. They'll say, we don't have anything to wear, we'll get them clothes. But our thing is the personal care. We never quit. And that model of care management is the same for someone who is homeless or mentally ill or drug addicted as someone coming out of jail. And if that person's coming out of jail, which always seems different to people, but they're in horrible situations. They can't even prove who they are anymore because they haven't maybe had their personal records for years. We use that same care management system with them, no different.
So kindness and respect, which everyone on the planet deserves.
Absolutely huge. And the other thing that distinguishes us, which is unusual, and this is where Guy comes in, he's a former businessman. You know, the old Henry Ford thing, a hard head, soft heart. He will go out and do stuff on spec. Spend money, borrow money. The whole criminal justice program was started on spec. And that's what has enabled us to grow. We'll take chances. We'll try something new. And I know we'll get to it later. We're opening a new reception center in October.
And we'll help you share that.
Yes.
So speaking of which, Kate, talk to us about kitchen table moments. You touched upon that a moment ago, and how you really are turning a house into a home, and the impact, what that means for a family.
Right. Well, I mean, you can imagine sleeping on the floor. That's not fun for anybody. But think about children. If they're not getting a good night's sleep, they're not going to do well in school. If they don't have a desk or a chair or something to sit and do their homework, you know, it's not motivating. A kitchen table, the most important thing of all, to sit around and have meals together. A sofa to sit together at the end of the day to watch TV. And again, to have a place that looks, that you're proud of, to be able to invite your friends and family over. We ask all of our clients to give us before pictures of their apartments, and they're either completely empty, or if they have things, it's a giant pile of their belongings over in the corner. And we also then ask them to send us a thank you letter and some pictures of it when they get it all set up. So our warehouse is a bit of a jumble. We've got furniture piled on top of itself. But when the clients get the furniture home and they get it all set up and take pictures and send them to us, we're just aghast and amazed at how wonderful it looks. I mean, it looks like a showroom at Bloomingdale's or something. So that's the difference that we're talking about, as you go from an empty apartment and all the trauma that they've gone through just to get to this empty apartment. And now, once they get the furniture, now it's a real place. Now it's a home. Now they can get on with things and have the things that so many of us just take for granted.
And I've read some of those letters, and they're beautifully written, and they're moving, and they really are wonderful stories.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break now. We'll be back in just a moment.
New York Presbyterian has 3 campus locations in Westchester: New York Presbyterian Westchester in Bronxville, New York Presbyterian Hudson Valley Hospital in Cortlandt Manor, and New York Presbyterian Westchester Behavioral Health in White Plains, and a new state-of-the-art facility opening in 2025 at 1111 Westchester Avenue in White Plains. Known as New York Presbyterian The One, this center of excellence will improve access to medical care by offering a wide range of adult and pediatric specialty care, all under one roof, delivered by exceptional teams led by trusted Columbia doctors. NYP The One will include centers of excellence in cardiovascular and neurosensory treatment, men's health, women's health, pediatric health, and a cancer center satellite.
You've cultivated roots in the community for your organization, and just as you've built trust with your constituents, you expect the same from your bank. With Beacon Bank, formerly known as PCSB Bank's breadth of services and customized solutions, including residential mortgages, commercial banking, and wealth management, you can put your trust in a local banking partner that understands your unique needs and puts customers first. Stop by one of Beacon Bank's 14 branches located throughout Westchester, Putnam, Dutchess, and Rockland counties, or call 888-808-4700 to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Welcome back. Thank you for sharing really these experience and your mission and what you're doing. And I'm going to just take a moment and remind our listeners that the Business Council of Westchester is really proud to share that we have nearly 160 current non-for-profits with all incredible missions and clients and really wonderful organizations that are helping the Westchester community and the surrounding areas. Bob, let's talk about Choice of New York and the growth, the really exponential growth you've experienced over the years. What does that journey look like, and how has your organization evolved?
Well, how it evolved is, again, it goes back to individuals and the recruitment of individuals. It was built by being proactive. For example, the person that had the true outreach, where we find homeless people, mentally ill people who don't come to us. We'll actually send caseworkers where drug addicts hang out, We'll send them where gang members hang out. We'll send them, and we have people at the police stations. We have people who proactively seek out the needy. And we do as much as we can in terms of going around to different groups, particularly police departments and other agencies such as Kate's, and tell them what we do and what we need. Because again, we're like a pass-through, if you will. The case manager is with you. Okay, and again, we don't quit you. You got to quit us. And so we're your link to a hospital. We're your link to a dependency center and so forth. And we're your link to the government. My favorite simple story, and I remember Noam Bramson, and now we'll be working with you. When I first started doing outreach for them, I went to Noam. He said, "Pop, I know what you guys do. Don't worry about it." I said, "Do you really, really know what we do?" I said, "The first time we get a call from someone, and we go and pick them up and we bring them in. We deal with what's emergent. Do you need health care? Do you need a dentist? Do you have a toothache? Do you need a doctor? Are you drug sick?" We get all that settled. We get them a place to sleep, and we made sure they have food and clothes. But the next morning is the one that always impressed me, and it impressed them. And it's so simple. Now, all of us at this table, God's been kind to us, but not to these people maybe, or their life took a turn. I couldn't sign up for Medicaid if you probably in front of a computer. I couldn't sign up for food, so I wouldn't know how.
You need the assistance.
We
and help.
sit with them and do that. And if it involves the Social Security, we actually go there with them. We take them.
So the case managers are from beginning
They
to
are
end.
key. And their attitude, again, of being peers, of not being condescending, of staying in touch, that's the difference.
And
That's how we
building the
grew.
relationship, frankly, with your clients. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Kate, why don't you put into perspective for us a little bit how many families you're serving per year? We talked about that earlier a little bit, and how you find your beautiful furniture.
Right. So we're upwards of 400 families a year. And I just want to go back to Bob's point. The clients have to come with their case manager. The case manager brings the client to the warehouse for the appointments. So we interact with the choice of New Rochelle case managers all the time. And they are as terrific as Bob is describing them. They're caring, they're very efficient, they always do everything the right way, and they come with the right checks and this and that and the other. So we can testify to the special qualities that the choice.
Yeah, our case managers
have.
love you and your team.
Well,
and they're comfortable knowing that when they're working a case, all right, we finally got the guy or gal or family. We got them a place to live, but they got no furniture.
Right. Check
And
who
that's
you
a
gotta
big
call.
deal.
Check
That's a
that.
huge
Oh, no, it's
deal.
a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I think, again, it really touches upon the power and importance of referral partnerships,
Yeah.
knowing about other similar organizations around you, but have, other kind of expertise so you can all
Yeah.
work together. And your clients can find you because you don't know. None of us does what we don't know. They have to know you're out here and this is what you're offering and this is how you can help.
Yeah. I just want to circle back quickly. You talked about people who have just come out of prison and have no place to go. I want to give a shout out to one of our other member agencies called Lilac House. They're in Mount Vernon, and they provide housing for women coming out of prison, and it's a transitional housing for them, and they stay there until they're able to get their own apartment. We found out about them maybe a year ago, and we went to visit, and the house itself needed furniture. They had a lot of old furniture, so we kind of helped refurnish it top to bottom. And then when the clients are ready to move out and they can get an apartment of their own, guess what? They come back to Furniture Share House and we give them the furniture to move in. So that's like the whole spectrum, which is just wonderful.
If I may, that whole aspect of what you're talking about, person comes out of jail, all they get is their prescription, drug prescription, and a bus pass. They've got nothing. But the biggest problem they have that we help them with is if they've been in jail a long time, they don't know where their personal records are. They can't prove, they can't get identification, so they can't get a full-time job.
And these little things are really not little. They're massive.
They're massive. Yeah. We may go with a person who's in that situation back to motor vehicles where you do all that kind of thing, and they give you a laundry list of 15 things that you need, and they can't get a job on the books. And we say these people need to be rehabbed. How can they be? We can't even get them a job. Now, I wanted to work on one case, not just do PR, so they gave me one of them. Simple case, minor league compared to what our people handle. And on the last day that we went to the police, to motor vehicles, his family was with him. And for the first time in 15 years, he got an ID and because he had a job offer.
Wow.
And to see his family kissing and hugging, and
wonderful.
made me feel like $1 million bucks.
And then you feel like
all
a
I did was
productive
paperwork.
member of society. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you know what we haven't talked about, Kate, a little bit is about the work you do with people who have suffered some sort of unexpected disaster. You know, because that you can become homeless overnight, fire or weather. Let's talk a little bit about that. That's
so
also
our
a
clients
big need.
are people exiting homeless shelters, as we've discussed. We have fire victims, and one an exciting new collaboration that we have is with the Red Cross. And of course, the Red Cross in Westchester County is responsible for helping anybody who's lost their possessions to a fire. They help find them housing and so on. There was this huge fire in Mount Vernon in November, and 100+ families were displaced. And the Red Cross called us and said, how can we make this work? So we have a direct pipeline with them. They bring the clients to us. In some cases, they finance delivery fees and that sort of thing. And since January, we've helped, I think, 59 families that lost everything in fires. And it's the Mount Vernon fire, but also there were a lot of smaller fires. There was one in Mamaroneck, there was one in Yonkers. And so...
And they're devastating.
Yes,
they're
exactly.
And during the financial crisis, I'm sorry if I stepped on your words there. We do these kinds, and I say organizations like ours, we do these kinds of things all the time. When SNAPS was in danger, and again, this is Fessenden and the people that run the place, we bought several tons of food, non-perishable food. We put them in our closets. We put them in so that our people would still be able to get what they would have had in SNAPS during that period that it was delayed.
And bridging that gap is huge. And we're almost out of time. Let's take a moment and each of you talk about a moving story, a success story, and I know there are so many that just resonated with you. Kate, you want to start?
I'm just thinking about the fire families that we talked about. A young woman was pregnant and due in, I think, March, and she lived in that apartment building in Mount Vernon that burned, and she had spent all of her money and gotten the nursery all set up for the baby, and she had the crib and she had the rocker and the changing table and everything, and of course she lost it all in the fire and didn't have the resources to put it all back together again. But the day that she came to her appointment, we happen to have a changing table. We don't always have a changing table. We happen to have a glider and an ottoman that goes with it. And through our Beds for Kids program, which is where we raise money around Mother's and Father's Day, and any funds that we raise are dedicated to buying new beds for kids. We buy bunk beds, toddler beds, cribs. We had a crib in the house as well. So we were able to help her recreate the nursery that she had lost to fire. So you can imagine how moving that was for her.
That must have been under very dire circumstances, but a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And Bob, what about you?
The best example I can give you is actually someone who works for us, and we were talking about her earlier. This woman was sexually abused by her father and her brothers until she was like 5 or 6 years old. Developed terrible schizophrenia, horrible schizophrenia. And she went on to a life of hearing voices, drugs, violence, prostitution, had her kids taken away. And about 16 years ago, she finally, NAMI helped her first, and she got involved with Choice while she was trying to get well. Well, she did get well, went back to school, became a certified crisis counselor. And I think we recommended her for an award a year ago that she got. And one of her kids that she got back, she's got her own house now. One of her kids is a school teacher. The other one is a nurse administrator. And they came to that event. And I mention that because those stories are possible for many, many, many of our clients. If we stick to it, don't quit on them. And she works for us now.
And what you're doing, both of your organizations, you have incredible power to change lives, and you're doing that. And thank you both for being here today and sharing your stories. You can go to their websites if you want to donate or learn more or volunteer. And thank you again, both Kate and Bob.
Thank you. And also,
thanks, Linda.
I want to thank the BCW, too, because since I've been involved, we can tell you everything that we do. We've hired 2 key people through our relationships here.
Love those stories
like
too.
That. Yeah, no, it's been huge because we evolved upward, and most of the people we would promote would be people who are really caseworkers initially or shrinks or whatever. But we needed an HR person. We came through your offices and you recommended someone else, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, thank you.
Our pleasure. And thank you both.
Be sure to check out the BCW Podcast Network's expansive lineup of shows: Leadership Unleashed, What's Trending, Advocacy and Politics Unplugged, The Member Spotlight, and Nonprofit Voices of Impact. The Business Council of Westchester is the county's largest business membership organization focusing on economic development and advocacy. With over 1,100 members, it is our mission to work for the profitability of our members and the prosperity of the Westchester community. To learn more about the Business Council of Westchester, please go to thebcw.org.